Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm going to give you a very thorough overview of the article here. There is a link in the description. It's actually a very nicely written article, very interesting, very compelling. If you're going to read an article about true crime, this is a nice one to go through, but it will be a little bit too dry if I was to read through it all. So I'm going to give you a very thorough overview. I need to give you a trigger warning. I will be showing some photos of the severe injuries that this shooting victim faced. She was shot in the neck. We're going to have a look at the injuries. There's going to be blood, there's going to be gore, it's going to be pretty nasty. So I'll give you a trigger warning there. If you appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, and most importantly, share the video if you're happy to. If you've got friends and family that are interested in true crime, send them my way. I'll look after them. Don't worry about that. But we're going to go through the details here. It's in regards to a shooting, as I mentioned. The victim, well, let's have a look at these two. Here's the victim. Micaiah Heath is her name, 33 years of age. She's a mother of three. This incident happened July 30th of this year in Dallas, Texas. Here's the shooter. His name is Byron Redmond, 26 years of age. He was an aspiring rapper, not a particularly good one. Didn't really have much of a following or anything like that, as far as I understand. But he rapped about domestic violence and shooting and killing and, misogynistic comments and all of this kind of thing. I'm a hypocrite. I do listen to hip hop in the worst of its forms. And they had been in a chaotic, tumultuous relationship for approximately 7 or 8 months. They broke up about a month prior to the incident. Again, this shooting happened July the 30th. Essentially what happened on July the 30th is at 11:30 a.m. in the morning, Byron Redmond went to Micaiah Heath's apartment, I believe, or her residence. I believe it's an apartment. And he accosted her. He attacked her. He berated her. He was physical, and he was very angry, accusing her of spreading rumors, correct rumors, factual rumors about her, about his cheating and about his physical abuse, about his deceit and his abuse. So there was an argument. And then during this argument, the shooter pulled out a gun. He let it be known that he was about to kill his ex-girlfriend, Micaiah Heath. Micaiah Heath was forced onto her knees. She was begging for her life. Byron Redmond ignored those pleas. He shot her in the neck. Thankfully, angels were looking over Micaiah. The bullet entered and exited her neck. It caused damage, but not severe damage. It passed through flesh. It exited the neck and struck the shooter, Byron Redmond, in the leg, in a femoral artery. Now, at that point, Micaiah Heath realized in shock that she'd been shot in the neck, realized that there was blood profusely bleeding out of the two holes, in her neck. She begged the shooter, she begged her ex-boyfriend to not let her die. She begged him to take her to the hospital. Here's a blessing. He did. He was shot in the leg, in a femoral artery in the leg. The bullet passed Micaiah's neck and hit him. Despite that, he did pick up Micaiah. He carried her out of the apartment into the car, and he drove to the hospital. At which point, Micaiah was taken in. She was treated. I'm not 100% sure if she went under surgery, but she was treated. And within a few hours, remarkably, miraculously, Micaiah was let out of the hospital. You're free to go. You're free to go. Let's have a look at a couple of the images. Bear yourself, brace yourself rather. Here they are. The exit and entry wounds. I'm not sure which one's which, but they're pretty big and they're very bloody, and they were spouting out blood. Apologies. So here it is in a healing quite nicely, I would imagine. I would think. I'm not a doctor, by the way, but I mean, it's closing. The hole is closing, so that's a good thing. And there is the victim in happier times, Micaiah Heath, mother of 3, 33 years of age. Again, this incident happened July the 30th of this year in Dallas, Texas. So she was patched up by the nurses. She was patched up. And a few hours later, she was released from the hospital. Just before she was leaving, she was told that her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend rather, had died. She was told that he died. And she was relieved by that. She felt relief, the article tells us. The reason why she was relieved is because if he hadn't have died, if he was there waiting for her to pick her up once she's been released from the hospital, what next? What would he do next? Would he shoot her again? Would he kill her so that she doesn't report him to police? She was fearful. She continued to be fearful for her life. So she was thankful to hear that her ex-boyfriend, Byron Redman, who shot her in the neck and subsequently, or with that, shot himself in the leg, in the femoral artery, and then, I'm going to say commendably, I'm going to say bravely, carried her and drove her to the hospital. And he does need to be commended for that. That's quite remarkable, I find. I mean, he's a bad guy. Okay, right, apparently he's a cheater, right? Apparently he sleeps around. He's got several different girlfriends, baby mamas, side pieces, whatever, right? But that's kind of irrelevant, to be honest. In addition, he's got the domestic violence. He's an abuser. He's attacked her many times before. The article goes into quite a bit of details. One time he was choking her to the point that she literally went purple. So he had attacked her several times previously. He's an arsehole. He's a scumbag. He's a psycho. He literally shot her in the neck. Made her go on her knees, beg for her life. He disregarded her pleas, knowing that she's a mother of 3 children, and shot her. Why? Because she was telling people that the guy's an arsehole. She was telling people that the guy's a cheat and a scumbag. You know, she wasn't telling lies. She was just telling people to do what she should have done, and that is run away from this guy. And, you know, rightfully so. She did break up with the guy, or the couple broke up about a month prior to the shooting. Kind of was going to make another point, but yeah, I've got to say that it is quite remarkable that despite being such a psychopath, that he did do this remarkable thing of carrying her to the car and then driving to the hospital. So, I mean, those things in itself are, you know, quite an act, you know, quite a feat, rather. And, you know, he risked his own security, his own safety, and he was shot. He was injured. He was losing blood himself. He was fatally shot. And he died prior to Micaiah being released. So he died within a couple of hours or so of entering the hospital. So, I don't know, got to commend him. The guy's an absolute psychopathic arsehole. But even so, he did this one act of goodness, which is highly valuable and, I don't know, quite brave. It's a bit odd situation. That's my take on it. If you disagree, tell me so in the comments. I'm more than happy to hear your opinion on the matter. And there we go. Those are the full details. So I'm going to show you a GoFundMe. Brace yourself for another shocking picture. Yeah, pretty gory. I don't know if it's been touched up with Photoshop to make it look even more gory. Perhaps so. I'm not sure, but perhaps I shouldn't say that. That's a little bit mean of me to say that. I am very disappointed in regards to the amount of money that she's raised. It's not enough, in my opinion. I'm an absolute hypocrite. Unfortunately, I'm not in a position to donate to the GoFundMe's. I don't have the available funds to do so. If I did, then I'm sure I would. In fact, I wouldn't mind at some point trying to donate to GoFundMe's as a part of the live streams. If I do get an income through memberships and such, perhaps a certain amount of that can be donated here and there. Not necessarily huge sums, but perhaps that can be done as a part or connected to the memberships or the community or regular viewers, that kind of thing. But whatever, we'll figure that out down the track. But in my opinion, she has a very modest goal, $8,000 goal. She says she suffers from PTSD. She wakes up, she's sweating, she's scared whenever she hears a loud sound. She says that she's traumatized. I believe her. And I would presume that she would have medical expenses too. I would presume, it's affected her ability to work and all of this. I don't know. There are a lot of GoFundMe's out there, and a lot of them raise a lot more money than this lady has. And to me, she's gone through one heck of an ordeal. Okay, fine. She was released after a couple of hours, amazingly so. And okay, fine. These are perhaps, it is a flesh wound. But even so, to me, I would think that it would be fair for her to get to her goal or close to her goal, certainly closer than she currently is. So I hope that she does get whatever it is that she needs. But again, maybe it's a matter of counting her blessings. She did start a relationship with this absolute scumbag. Okay, great. At some point, she ended that relationship, but she knew what the guy was like. He's portraying himself as a rapper. He's singing misogynist lyrics. He's talking about gang banging. She experienced his violence, and she allowed herself to be a part of this relationship, and that was a mistake. But it does seem, with the meaningful words that she says throughout this article, again, it is a nicely written article. I just don't want to read through it all. She does warn other people of getting out of relationships where there is domestic violence. So she does seem to me to be someone that has learnt from her mistakes. She was given a very harsh lesson, and seemingly she's learnt from it. So I'm going to wrap things up at this point. Hopefully this has been an interesting video. Again, it is an interesting article if you wanted to read through that. Link in the description. If you appreciate the coverage, like, comment. Most importantly, share the video, and take care.